Sometimes surgery is fitting puzzles together. This dog got bit by another dog in a dog park, and you can see it peeled its skin back, and then there's this cartilage inside the ear. Isn't that interesting? That's what makes some dogs' ears stand up. Look, see that little corner? And then that corner right up in there. I'm going to see if I can get that right up in that corner. So, corner to corner. And see if, and then, so we'll see in a week whether this ear holds. It may not, because this little piece may lose its blood supply and not be able to heal. But it's a good chance, and there's no other way to really easily cosmetically save the ear. So that's that side, and now we flip it over, you can see that we got more work to do as we try to get this ear sewed on this side. So there's our little flap, and it looks like it fits down in that corner, doesn't it? So I'm going to put the suture down there. This would come up to there, so this would come to right there, and we'll so you can see it's a little bit like a puzzle. So this little piece that's the corner margin of the ear that would go with this margin of the ear. So we got to find the margin of the ear, which is right there. And this little piece would go from that margin down to that margin. As you can tell, it was like I said, we usually don't, our ears are not, our surgical sites are usually much less hairy, but it's just impossible to sew this. To shave this. You can notice I'm not really putting all that much pressure on it. The ear, like I said, all this work might be all for naught because the skin might not survive it. Apart. This curve goes to that curve, and like that. So it is not a big wound, it just takes some time to fit it back together. And so this little corner goes to that corner. So here's this curve. I'm back down to this curve. I was just up here and over here, because you don't just do one area and sew it and you hope that it all fits together. You do several areas, and then you hope it all fits together. So that's together, and then it's left this little piece. I left this to see how it would do. There's the ear margin. There, and there's the ear margin. So it looks like that's on this side, kinda. So I'm gonna do that. We're doing it in the dark now because the ear is making a shadow. We're having an eclipse of the sutures. And you know there's a solar eclipse this August. It's going to be 2 minutes of totality. So it'll be like that. So we're going to do this one now. Partial eclipse. Now I start to look through the gaps where I need to put extra sutures. There's every couple of millimeters, so there's one there and there's one there, so there could be one here. And then to see if I pulled this whole flap over and sewed it over on this side and didn't give that other side room, then it may not be accurately placed. Not to say, like I say, this might all be for naught, and that's the trouble when you're doing surgeries. You never know, especially with a devitalized area like a bite wounds or dogs that hit by a car and the skin gets traumatized. You never know whether you're going to do all this work and then everybody's going to come back in and then you look at it and it's all black. I don't know if I'll be on when this dog comes in to show you the result. But anyway, it looks good now. But that doesn't really make any difference really for the future, right? Because your dog, you'd go, well, it still looks still black, crummy ear. So what else do I do? Well, I use antibiotics, of course, and pain relievers, and probably some Ceflexin and some Rimadyl for pain. It's an NSAID. And we're probably going to wrap the ear up, because if we don't wrap the ear up and the dog shakes his head, then it's going to shake it all apart. So now we're looking for the other rips, and it looks like right here is a good place for a suture. And like I said, we put it kind of loose, and we're hoping the veins that coming in from the ear, service the ear, will come over and heal this little area. And I'll show you one of those veins right now. You can see it on the skin. Look at it. See that little raised area? That's a nice little vein. You can see it branching off up there. You can see that one coming through there. See that one? So those are the veins we hope are intact enough to give this oxygen and warmth and nurture this little wound. And who invented black suture, right? For black dogs? I mean, come on. Shouldn't it be fluorescent red? So when we're going to take them out, it would be easier to see. There's a bite wound here. Sometimes we'll put a drain in if we can find a pocket, but there's no pocket. So we'll probably just leave it open. Why do we leave it open? Because it's an infected bite wound. There's a little bit of a pocket there, but I don't think there's anything that'll get infected. It's such a small hole, it'll heal up. So what you do if it was your dog, you just wash it every day and it will slowly heal. So we're cleaning up the area. We're going to put the bandage on it. Put my head out so we can wrap underneath of it. And then this bandage will come off in a few days and we'll check and see how it works. Some dogs are not happy. So we have to be careful with the muzzle and the cone without the stitches and check the ear and see how we do it.
So we're going to administer some propofol anesthetic because that's the easiest way to get the sutures out and clean up that ear. Bandage got wet and there is some staph infection. One area is bleeding. It really did hold together. It looks like it's open, but it's just raw. The other area is crusty and inflamed, but it looks like it probably will hold together. So we're cleaning it all up and we're putting on some antibiotic cream, and then we'll put the cone back on, and hopefully she won't shake it too much. If she shakes it too much, we're going to have to wrap it back up again. But for right now, we're just cleaning it all up. We'll give her some more antibiotics, get rid of that staph infection from the wet bandage, put on some antibiotic cream, and hope that it heals up and continues healing along with the bite wound in her head. So that's what happens when dogs get together and they have differences. One dog can bite the other one, and if the fang goes in deep and causes a little pocket, it can abscess. So sometimes you can wash those out every day and they'll finally heal up if there's not a big pocket. When the ear gets sliced like that, and remember it's 2 pieces of skin or 2 layers of skin, in the middle's the cartilage, just like an Oreo, I had to sew the skin up and on the edges, and it wrapped around that cartilage. It was still attached to the ear at the bottom, so it might have lost some of its blood supply, but the blood supply coming in from the sides helped it heal. So anyway, that's kind of an interesting video that shows you how sometimes wounds aren't very straightforward, even though they're simple tears. That was a puzzle piece. I had to kind of put the skin together in both areas, anchor it in the corners, and then fill it in with sutures so that I could make sure that that I had enough room and that I didn't skew the wound to one side or the other when I was sewing it on both sides. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It's kind of gory, but it's an interesting piece of my life, patching animals back together again. Well, if you get a chance, check out the Dog Diet Answer book at my website, dogdishdiet.com. Have a great day.